Hello my friends, this is Linol Anderson here with you guys with a brand new YouTube BitChute video, and in today's video we got a very important topic to address. I want to speak to you guys about Trump's Golden Dome. That's right, he announced just a few weeks back that they plan on building a dome defense system similar to what Israel has, okay, to protect them from missiles in case any wars pop off, okay? And they also said they're going to be using advanced technologies to do this, okay? So immediately I said something's not right here, all right? And I just had a feeling that this isn't what it appears to be, okay? And sure enough, I came across some pretty terrifying information, as well as receiving a prophetic dream of what was to come. I actually had the dream first and then came across this information that I'm going to present to you. So I'm going to tell you exactly what is coming. And it's not just a missile defense system. This goes way deeper. It's connected to 5G and 6G. It's connected to electromagnetic frequencies. It's going to be even connected to Project Bluebeam, blocking out the sun. Some horrible, horrible things, even possibly a zombie apocalypse. This is going to blow your mind, my friends. So let's just get right into it, okay? Just going to encourage you guys to hit that subscribe button before we begin. As I say, subscribe to survive. And also smash the like button. Helps old Lionel out with the algorithms. So, my friends, what it comes down to is there's this big agenda going on to pretty much bring in an AI control system, and also to pretty much harvest humanity, as I've told you guys. And 5G, 6G are all crucial to these things. It's crucial to AI, all of it. Now, Trump choosing the name Golden Dome is not a coincidence. What you guys gotta remember, okay, is that gold represents the golden age. That's why Trump keeps saying we're bringing a golden age to America, right? Well, I really recommend you guys check out this video here that I made months ago when Trump first got in, addressing what golden age is all about. I'll leave the link down below, but just a quick summary. The golden age is connected to Saturn. Okay, Saturn ruled the golden age back in Greek times. Chronos, right? Chronos, which is Saturn, ruled over the golden age. Okay, Saturn's coming back. Okay, and Saturn is connected to the 4D astral AI. So you could say gold and AI, it's all connected. Okay, so as soon as I heard a golden dome, I thought it has something to do with AI. And then they even said themselves it's going to involve advanced technologies. And I'm like, okay, there's something more here, because I don't buy all this stuff that they're scared that they're going to be getting hit by missiles or something like that. That's if you believe in the illusion, like the world isn't controlled by the reptilian overlords and that countries are actually fighting with each other and stuff like this. I believe they're all buddies behind the scenes, okay? I don't believe any of this is necessary. Like, for example, Israel has an Iron Dome, okay? And their Iron Dome is supposed to keep the missiles out and whatnot. Much smaller than what the United States obviously wants to do, because Israel's the size of New Jersey. This is going to be a golden dome that's going to cover not only America, but Canada too, because Mark Carney wants in, of course. Keep in mind that Israel's Iron Dome, as effective as it may be, sometimes it doesn't work. Remember those October 7th attacks? Why did that happen? Why was that allowed to happen? Why didn't the Iron Dome stop that? Oh, it wasn't working that day, right? So it doesn't matter if they put up a golden dome. If the powers that be want an attack to happen, they're going to allow it anyways. I believe that this is just a front for people, you know, who are at lower levels of consciousness, who still believe in the illusion that the countries are attacking each other and it's not all pre-planned and orchestrated. It's just for them to think, oh, war is all happening, we're going to be safe now, okay? It's just a distraction, okay? And that's not actually what this Golden Dome's going to be doing, okay? There's going to be over $1 trillion to make this thing. That's what they're estimating by the time it's all said and done. So another $1 trillion to the military industrial complex. And as I said before, Canada wants in. Trump says it'll cost Canada $80 billion. And, but he says, oh, if they join the 51st state, it'll be free for them. Well, I think this is where it's all going. And a lot of people in Canada, all the liberals here, they thought Carney was going to be tough to Trump, elbows up and all that. And now Carney immediately is like, yep, we want into the Golden Dome plan. And now liberals can't believe, they're just dumbfounded why Carney wouldn't be tougher on Trump on this and why he immediately wants to do it. Because it's part of the plan. It's part of the agenda. They work together. They're buddies. Okay? And there's a plan to put this Golden Dome over top of America. And not only that, they're saying they want to put it up in Europe too. They're saying Europe needs a Golden Dome too, a missile defense system. Okay, let's get into what this truly is. So my friends, I knew there was something up with this. As soon as I heard Golden Dome, I connected it to the AI, and also they're talking about advanced technologies. And I said, this has something to do with AI. It has to. But I didn't know. So I said to Source, I said to the universe, I said, please send me some information on this. I need to find, because I couldn't find anything. I'm researching. I can't find anything. All I could find is about missile defense stuff. So no worries. I came across real hard information about what this is. But before I came across that information, I had a prophetic dream about 2 weeks ago. Okay? They don't call me the Platinum Prophet for nothing, my friends. I've had many prophetic dreams throughout my life. And then things eventually manifest. Okay? Well, this manifested rather quickly. But I'm going to tell you this quick dream, just quickly. And then I'm going to show you what I came across that pretty much validated everything I had seen in this dream. Okay? So in my dream, I was in Canada here. I remember I was in Canada, but President Trump was here giving a speech. And it was very clear that Canada was now part of the United States. We were the 51st state. Okay? But he was announcing that pretty much World War III was here, and that there was conscription, and that all men had to sign up for medical exams first, and then to be approved to start fighting. Okay, there was something to do with some medical tests men had to go through, and then they'd be sent off to war. Okay, so I was freaking out. I'm in a big crowd of people. Okay, and he's giving this speech, and then I look up, and I saw something up in the sky, some kind of frequency field, and all of a sudden my soul left my body, and it went up right close to this frequency field that was up in the sky, okay? And as soon as I got close to it, I started going crazy. Like I heard thoughts going crazy and just... And I was like, whoa, and it started sucking me in. I had to fight to get away from it. And like I thought I was going to go absolutely nuts. My soul returns to my body back on the ground, okay? And I notice that this frequency field is moving, and wherever it's going, people are starting to go crazy, okay? I see people riding, people on top of cars smashing, people fighting, and then I see a woman. And a woman starts losing her mind, and her face starts even changing. She looks like she's demonically possessed. And then she pretty much just turns into a zombie and starts attacking people. And then I wake up and I'm like, holy shit, what the hell is this all about? Okay? Freaked me out. But I said, you know what? I bet you this has something to do with this Golden Dome crap. So I said, okay, well, I don't know. Maybe it's just a dream, or maybe it's a prophetic dream. I usually know when I have prophetic dreams because they're different than real dreams, like, or just regular dreams. Now, I definitely felt like this was one of the prophetic ones. So I took that information. I said, okay, I even wrote down my dream so I didn't forget. And I said, I'm not going to come forward with this yet. I still got to do more research on this Golden Dome stuff and to see if there's any truth to that. Or is it just my subconscious because of my previous speculations? Well, my friends, I came across some real hard information that shows that this Golden Dome is connected to AI. It's connected to electromagnetic frequencies. It is going to start driving people crazy insane. I believe it's going to be using 5G and 6G technologies, and it may even be connected to Project Bluebeam and what they're going to be doing there. So I'm going to show you a video that's going to show you the facts and the evidence of what's going on, okay? But before we do get to that, I just wanted to do a quick shout out to our sponsors down at Aweli, my friends. See, it's going to be very important as we go into this that we keep our vessels pure, because if you're connected to the AI, well, 6G and the AI, they interact, and of course that's the graphene oxide and all the other nanotechnologies you've been getting into your system. So liver detox, we detox everything through our livers, okay? So I highly recommend Aweli has a great liver detox and actually a liver reset protocol that's going to be perfect to start detoxing this nanotechnology stuff. So of course this is going to detox the liver, but this is something I really want to talk about: alpha lipoic acid. Now my friends, take a look at these known symptoms of 5G, okay? And obviously 6G is going to do all these things and much worse. And as you can see, it affects our cell health. Well, alpha lipoic acid is for your cellular energy, okay? It fuels your cellular energy, it defends your cell health, and your glucose metabolism support. As you can see, those are all things that 5G has been known to attack. Not only that, but alpha lipoic acid, it increases your glutathione levels, and glutathione is what detoxes heavy metals and graphene oxide and other nanotechnologies. Okay? So these two are going to be essential. Then there's also berberine as well, which is great for liver health overall. But at the very least, these two are essential to help through whatever's coming, whatever's happening now with the 5G and this coming 6G, and especially when this dome stuff starts happening. And there is an option where you could even just buy these two. Anyways, I'll leave the link down below in the description. Check it out, do your research. If you have any concerns, talk to your doctor, whatever, research it good. But definitely consider this. I got a 15% off coupon as well, and free shipping in the United States. So check it out down below. Now let's get to that video. This is going to be some crazy information for you guys. This is Steven Jackson from JWTV. Make sure you go subscribe to him as well. I'll leave his channel down below in the description. So go and give him a subscribe because he covers a lot of this stuff. Take a look.
Something much larger and stranger is going to be activated by this dome that we're not paying attention to. And due to this law enforcement source I talked to, and basically an ex-military source, we need to see every layer of this and investigate it to know what's going to happen larger in our population.
Golden Dome is a bold and aggressive approach to hurry up and protect the homeland from our adversaries.
I looked deeper and found that they need to use a specific type of force in order to activate this dome. First, we need to listen to E4 specialist Terry, who talked to me and led me down a different, deeper rabbit hole about this dome.
Allowing this concoction of toxic chemicals to break the blood barrier, brain barrier, and deactivate the pineal gland. And that's the most sensitive part of our nervous system. And they know this. If your nervous system is damaged, that causes all kinds of problems. It's all also connected to the Project Bluebeam and
Definitely.
what they call the space fence.
What?
And
Space fence?
The space fence, I don't know if you heard of that.
No, I haven't. What's that?
It's United States Air Force and Lockheed Martin built this for, say it was for space debris, but it'll have the capability to surveil the entire planet. And this is why Trump's talking about them spending $500 billion for AI infrastructure, because this is going to be like Skynet and Terminator. It's designed to operate in a low orbit, designed to be one interconnected machine run by AI interacting with cell towers to create a giant wireless network that's manipulated through ionization of the atmosphere, which is what they're doing when they spray chemtrails. It also enhances holographic imagery, a la Bluebeam. And they ionize it the atmosphere with HAARP.
Question is, how would this dome actually be deployed, and what will happen when they activate the? We'll get to that in a second. But when I look at how will it be deployed, will we see it? Will it be in broad day? Well, I look at the predictive programming, and it's not just about protecting us from adversaries, like they say. They're going to use it for this as well. And what people haven't thought about is what's going to happen once our atmosphere is closed off by a dome. Before we get to the full plan that'll be activated in the skies being talked about nowhere else, the guy who originally wanted this plan, let's look at what he said. A climate controlled dome. And this opens up the field to the electromagnetic force they're going to be using for the Golden Dome. A law enforcement source told me that Homeland Security had a meeting. And in this meeting, they said they didn't need to quarantine us. They could just put giant domes over certain parts of the cities and close it off at a radius to where they wanted to trap people based off of what they deemed fit. This interaction could come from the internal electromagnetic spectrum inside of the domes that they release. Now, I know some of you thinking like, oh, this is outrageous. What is he talking about? And other you like, well, I can see that happening. Let's show you though, because again, they were doing stuff pre-scripted, but we have photo evidence that you can see right here. So that pretty much confirms what my law enforcement source said. Now, the electromagnetic situation. How in the heck are we going to interact with something electromagnetic? What's going to be activated and how is it going to keep us in? Let's look at that right now. Most likely the force will be electromagnetically controlled and you'll see an entrance right there. This entrance, you will not be able to get in or out of it without the electromagnetism device or knowing how to shut down electromagnetism if it's not just glass, because that's usually what's controlling the device system. One thing is for sure, that something very important we need to know, and that's what is the hertz or gigahertz of this electromagnetic golden dome. Because once we find that out, we'll know what happens to the sky, the birds, the animals, us, and everything at large. And that's why I looked into this and found out what actually was the situation. And that is 3.45 GHz to 7 and 8 GHz bands should be fenced off from the public auction so as to ensure that Golden Dome can be built and America's intelligence agencies can stay ahead of their competition in China and Russia. So this means that they can heat the tissue even more, fragment the DNA even more, tap into the energy systems of the dome via the human body is what they're actually going to be doing. And on the second front, something else largely starts to begin. So here's what really starts to affect people. And if you look here, this is Florida, where the sun is literally being blocked out, but not at the expansive rate of what we're going to see. The domes, once it's initiated, look right here. Domes have a way of controlling climate. They block sunlight entering a place or building. This is what they're going to do. And this is going to really start to block the sun plan. So now you see point one connected. Here's point two that's going to be connected. People are largely going to get more sick because of electromagnetism, and two, less sunlight. So three, what you can do right now to get ahead of everybody else is ramp up on getting vitamin D3 tinctures, looking in sources of getting vitamin D3 through food, growing stuff with vitamin D3. This is going to be a huge commodity moving forward from 2025. And I promise you the market is going to skyrocket there. What else are we going to see in this pivotal turn? We're also going to see The new interaction of technology to make our sky not even look realistic anymore, where they can alter certain things and make us see things through this dome that's not even there. We will have a shield protection from like missiles and everything else, but the other scenarios might outweigh all the so-called protection. Obviously, don't you think? Here's the much more larger scale picture you're not getting. 3.5 GHz is part of the C-band that the military uses for 5G. So it'll be a big giant 5G freaking dome all the way over us. What is going to happen to people though under this continuous cell tower and dome situation? We could see them increase, agitated, lethargic, distracted, neurochemical balance shift. And it says aggressively. The birds, the bees, all the animals, totally confused navigation systems disconnected from the magnetic grid because this thing will have electromagnetic energy messing with the signals given from God to supply them with how to move around. So we could start to see patterns like deers in places they're not supposed to be, bears in places they're not supposed to be. You could see a lot of wildlife disruption. Then there becomes this group think situation because the EMFs at this specific rate that we're going to be at could help entrain certain brainwave states, nudging people towards more of a hive mind scenario. So this will actually increase that ability for them to start to be more different and strange, not just because they took that, but now because it's all interacting together in this basically energy dome that we're inside of. And so now you're like, well, dang, how much time do I have to even before this happens? So we ain't got much time. They state in the official plan, if you look right here, that they want to deploy this by the end of next year, which is the end of 2026. They're not going to tell us when they put this thing up. We're just going to wake up and all of a sudden the sunlight is going to be darker. The animals might be acting weirder. Things will be much more strange. And you'll know for a fact it's there. I think innately inside of you because of how we're connected to the sunlight, the energy and everything else. We will know that it's up there. Our bodies will obviously react in a way that we haven't felt before because we're sunlight beings, because God put all the stuff here and it's part of the magnetic compass. This could also affect circadian rhythms as well once they do this. So we're really going to have to go under higher protectionism as far as copper, nickel, silver type of material to have in your house and around everything that you know of that will project the manifestation of this energy. And I think that once they do this on a spiritual level, this will be how they try to bring in certain entities at a higher rate. So being much more spiritually aligned, clearing your body out and mind is going to be so much important. And here's the other big key picture to it all. Once the thing is activated, my research said that this is what will happen, and they are doing it under the guise of this. So in that form, it sounds like magnetically controlled people through every bit of technology that they put in them. This is honestly one of the final phases of the chapter. In real time, we're going to be following all the updates. You need to stick around here. We're going to be giving much more of what to do before this happens. But now,
All right, there you go. So you see, lots of crazy predictive programming there. The Simpsons with the dome. There was another show called The Dome. Lots of stuff to do with domes, okay? And I believe that's direct predictive programming and very interesting. He's talking about how it's connected to blocking the sun as well. Like, holy crap. We know they want to block the sun, and if these frequencies actually start blocking the sun, my goodness, my friends. This agenda, as I said, goes a lot deeper, and I don't think there's any stopping it now. That's the damn hard reality that we're going through right now is people, they put their faith in government. That's the sad thing. You know, they thought Trump was different and he's going to come in and fight the deep state, when really it was all just a deception, all distraction, and his job was to come in and roll out this AI beast system and pretty much build the cloud that they're doing with Elon Musk. And I believe this dome is connected to the cloud. You hear lots about that, and the new simulation. Ushering in the beast system. That's what he's here to do. And there's not much resistance. It's nice seeing more and more people starting to wake up, realizing they've been duped. You know, Trump working with Palantir and pushing the death shots and all that. It's becoming so obvious now. The only people who can't figure it out are just so brainwashed and suffering from TDS, Trump denial syndrome. And it's just, if you can't see it by now, you know, you're in a state of cognitive dissonance. It's very sad. But more and more by the day are waking up, which is nice, but not enough. And, you know, you can't even protest anymore against this. Like, that's the solution, having enough people say, no, we don't want the Golden Dome, mass protests. But guess what? Remember I warned you guys before Trump even became president that they were going to push Project 2025 agenda. I made a whole 50-minute long video talking about Project 25 or 2025, who's behind it, which are the elites, and their agenda for humanity, okay? And one of the things on there that I told you was coming was they were going to start using the military to break up protests, which means they're going to remove your right to protest, which is in the Constitution, one of the amendments, okay? Is it the First Amendment, whatever, right to freedom of speech and protest, okay? And they're going to come in and take that away from us using the military. This is something tyrants do. Well, guess what? Mr. Trump, Mr. Pro-Freedom Trump, is following that exact Project 2025 on many things, but he is starting to use the military on protesters, okay? We see all the stuff going on with LA riots, which we know was all manufactured, agent provocateurs and all that. Now they're using Palantir in that situation, which is more AI and all that. But listen to what he just said about the military parade that's about to happen on his birthday, June 14th. Many people say something big could happen that day too. But listen to what he said about what he's going to do with the protests. This is a clip from The Disturbing Illusion here on YouTube. I'll also leave a channel or a link to his channel as well. Go and subscribe to him as well. Take a look.
Actually like to see some dark MAGA. I think it's time for Trump to get dark MAGA. I don't know. I don't think we've seen dark MAGA yet. I think it's time to go dark MAGA on California.
Actually like to see some dark MAGA.
What has happened to all these popular social media influencers who claim to love liberty and yet are overtly calling for tyranny and trashing the Bill of Rights? This is Owen Schroyer. I just want you to listen to what he says and let's weigh this and look at it through the lenses of freedom. This is crazy.
This was Trump earlier today, and he said this in clip 1.
And we're going to be celebrating big on Saturday. We're going to have a lot of, and if there's any protester that wants to come out, they will be met with very big force. By the way, for those people that want to protest, they're going to be met with very big force. And I have.
So if you want to exercise your First Amendment right to protest against Trump's militarized, basically birthday party, where he's going to spend millions upon millions, tens of millions of dollars in tax cattle funds to actually carry this out, he's going to bring out force against people exercising the American rights that hundreds of thousands of men fought, bled, and died for.
I haven't even heard about a protest, but, you know, this is people that hate our country, but they will be met with very heavy force.
So I think we may have had this live, or I just might have missed it, but this was Trump, and I alluded to this yesterday as we watched the people burn the flag, and I'll respond to it again today. Here's Trump talking about punishment for burning an American flag in his speech just moments ago.
And the only flag that will wave triumphant over the streets of Los Angeles is the American flag. So help me God, the American flag is the one that's going to wave triumphantly over the street.
I guess not. Okay, well, the clip caption said Trump calls for prison for anybody burning the American flag. So I don't know if I got the wrong clip or if you guys want to find that. That's what the caption said. So I don't know why the caption said that. If
we do know 3 times Trump has said that. He's calling for a minimum of 12 months in prison for burning an American flag, a Chinese-made American flag. If you are not free to burn an American flag on American soil, this isn't the land of the free or the home of the brave.
I would say they should be arrested, and it's an interesting thing. You know, you got to find outside the box solutions to these problems, so they can fight it in court and probably win. I mean, I might even argue that it is your free speech right if you want to burn an American flag. It like hurts my soul to even say that, but yeah, if you want to burn any flag, if you want to burn a Mexican flag, a Hamas flag, an Israeli flag, whatever, that should all be considered free speech. But that's not the point. The point is that we're gonna try to put an end to this crap. And if you're gonna burn an American flag, we're gonna arrest you, and you're gonna have to defend yourself in court. We're gonna do that. And yeah, you might win, and whatever the case is, but you're getting arrested. We're detaining your ass. We're sick of this crap. I don't know, maybe you sign an executive order. You can't burn an American flag. I mean, I'm not going to fight that.
What kind of conflict is going on inside of Owen Schroyer's mind? What kind of cognitive dissonance is this? I mean, he seems kind of wishy-washy, but on the other side of it, he seems kind of resolute. Yeah, put him in jail for burning an American flag. You deserve to go into a cage, be locked into a cage against your will for burning a piece of fabric?
I might say, well, it's a free speech issue. I don't know if I agree, but not dying on that hill. Don't burn an American flag. Don't want to.
I'm not going to die on the hill of American freedom and expressing your rights. Now, I don't suggest you burn an American flag. I'm not going to go out and burn an American flag. It's not in my, I'm not going to burn any kind of flag. It's just not in my heart to do that kind of thing. But if you're not free to burn a flag that you own without being punished and thrown into a cage, there is no freedom. There is no freedom of expression. And then where does it stop? You have the government put their foot in the door of putting you in prison for burning an American flag. Then what's next? And how are you going to stop that tyrannical snowball, which leads to a tyrannical avalanche once it started? You're not going to stop it. But wait, Owen's not done.
Jail for burning an American flag? Don't burn an American flag. But it's a little...
How about don't throw him in jail? That's what Owen Schroyer should be saying here. Don't throw them in jail for expressing freedom of speech. Don't do it.
Maybe you're going to spend some time in a cement box. You know, maybe that's a little much for us. And, you know...
From the guy who went to prison unjustly so for the J6 crap. You would think of all people, he would say, no, you don't go into a cage unless you harm somebody, unless you threaten to harm them, unless you damage their property and refuse to pay for it, unless you steal somebody's property, unless you're causing mayhem and disturbing people in society. You don't deserve to go to a cement box. That's not how Owen Schroyer is looking at this.
The judge might toss your case. You might say, I'm tossing this. Okay, so you get out. We're not going to tolerate that. Okay, so I think we have the clip now. Go ahead.
But they proudly carry the flags of other countries, but they don't carry the American flag. They only burn it. Did you see a lot of the flags being burned? They weren't being burned by people from our country or from people that love our country. People that burn the American flag should go to jail for 1 year. That's what they should be doing. 1 year. And we'll see if we can get that done. We're going to try and get that done. We're working with some of you senators. I know Senator Josh Hawley is very much involved. And I know the 2 senators from here. I think are you guys in favor of it? Boy, would this be a bad time for them to say no. I got you. I got those 2 votes.
That's tyranny and oppression. And no matter how distasteful you think it is to burn an American flag, You're supporting tyranny when you're approving of and applauding people going to jail for burning that China-made American flag.
Does the city of L.A. have no pride? Do the liberals and the Democrats that live in L.A. have no pride at all? No pride, no shame? Are they just filled with that much hatred they just don't even care?
This is just dumb. What does this prove? What does burning an American flag on the streets of L.A. do? What positive result can come of this? This is utter ignorance. And you never want to underestimate the power of stupid people in large crowds. Now check this out right here. Listen real close to what he says. What are you calling for here, Owen?
You know what Trump really should do? You know what would really stick it to him? More, maybe just as much. I think it's time for Trump to get dark MAGA. I don't know. I don't think we've seen dark MAGA yet. I think it's time to go dark MAGA on California. It's time to show Gavin Newsom and the California Democrats what dark MAGA really looks like. Cut the federal funding, cut the SALT deductions, and then move all Olympic or World Cup events that would have been hosted in Los Angeles and move them to Florida or Texas, move them to Miami, move them to Dallas, move them to Houston. You want to see dark MAGA? Have a little taste of dark MAGA. Enjoy your third world hellhole. We're pulling the Olympics. We're pulling the World Cup. We're pulling the federal funding. We're pulling the SALT deductions. Good luck. Enjoy. Enjoy your politics. Enjoy. That's dark MAGA.
You know what real dark MAGA is? Dark MAGA is being bought and paid for by Rothschilds Inc. and then turning around and giving the employee of Rothschilds Inc. the Commerce Secretary job 25 years later after he's bailed out by Rothschilds Inc. to Wilbur Ross. Dark MAGA is putting a Goldman Sachs lifer and central banking consultant in as the Treasury Secretary. That's Steve Mnuchin. Dark MAGA is hiring one of the biggest warmongers, former CIA director Mike Pompeo. And then there was Bolton, and then he ended up firing him. And I didn't know. Oh my gosh, it's new. Dark MAGA is overseeing and putting your signature on the biggest power and wealth transfer that the world, not just the United States, the world has ever seen, $6.2 trillion, and then handing the lion's share of that money over to the big pharma industrial complex and to the corporate elitists, while tens of thousands of American businesses go bankrupt during the Trump-initiated shutdown of the COVID-19 84 by George Orwell planned, organized partial shutdown of the U.S. economy in the second quarter, according to James Bullard from the Federal Reserve. That's dark MAGA. Trump has already overseen dark MAGA by hiring Anthony Fauci and Deborah Birx. Trump has already initiated dark MAGA with red flag gun confiscation laws. I like take the guns first, due process second. If that's not dark MAGA, there's no such thing as dark MAGA. So Owen Schroyer, I ask you, why are you supporting dark MAGA, which literally equals tyranny? Yeah, Gavin Newsom is Gavin Newscum, and the mayor of LA is a leftist idiot. Of course. But you're involving and selling your audience on, Owen, the WWE, Left versus Right, dog and pony clown show under the political big top. That's what you're doing. Now you're calling for dark MAGA? Basically summoning the power of, what is it, the fifth level of Satanism? MAGA? Isn't that what it is? MAGA is the fifth level of Satanism, and Owen Schroyer is calling for it. Hey, Owen, give me a call. DM me. Let's talk. I got questions, and you really need some answers.
I actually like to see some dark MAGA. And then these Democrats might have a little more fear. They might take Trump a little more seriously. And that might stop all this madness.
It's nonsense, satanic imagery here of their Lord and Savior, Donald Trump.
Now let's go to some of these other clips we have.
That's all I got for you. I just wanted to let you hear what Owen Schroyer said about dark MAGA, summoning the power of dark MAGA, because we got to get them Democrats. Yeah, the Democrats are defunct. They're BS. So are the Republicans. We should all know this. And this is a psychological operation to get us on board with being desensitized, dehumanized, and demoralized. And Owen Schroyer is applauding it. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel if you want, and I'll see you in the next video.
There you go. Now, that was a very good video. Like I said, go check out his channel. He's exposing Owen Schroyer of InfoWars there. That guy just makes me sick. Him and Alex Jones are just pathetic sellouts to humanity. They just love their government. They love their Trump so much. The enslavement that's happening, they're promoting it. You guys got some bad karma on your hands, okay? I'm telling you that right now. You sell out humanity, pushing government when you guys know better. Especially you, Alex. But Owen makes me sick, too. But that video exposes Owen much more in depth. But as you can see, Trump going to use the military if there's any protests at his military parade. So don't you dare speak out against the military-industrial complex. Don't you dare speak against the crimes, the war crimes that the United States have put forth among humanity. And don't you dare ever protest against the Golden Dome, because if you do that, well, that's a huge military-industrial complex NWO agenda. Trump definitely wouldn't be happy. So even though that's what we need to be doing, what the government's saying is don't you dare, because we're going to put the military on your ass, which goes directly against your Constitution and your amendments, and it is what tyrannical, communist-type governments do. But guess what? Nobody cares, because as long as their cult leader, their tyrant, is doing it, then it's okay. Okay? And anybody who speaks against it, you're a Democrat, oh, you're liberal. It's like, If Democrats and liberals are protesting against it, good. At least they're freaking waking up that that's communism. But again, they'd probably be supporting it if their cult leader was doing it, of their party, unfortunately. But for a guy like me, who doesn't believe in government, and who knows that the left and the right are both controlled by the same damn reptilian overlords, okay, and somebody realizes that this is going against our freedom of speech, our rights. If we call this out, that does not make us a liberal or Democrat. It makes us awake, and it makes you stupid and somebody who wants to be enslaved by government. So wake the F up, realize what's happening here, realize that humanity is pretty much screwed at this point. We're at the point of no return, because even if we try to fight back now, they're going to drop the military on our ass. Because that's what communist dictators and tyrannical governments do. And so many people saying, oh, what, you think Kamala would have been any better and whatnot? So many people say that and act like, oh, Trump was the better choice. It's like, as evil as Biden and Kamala were, and all these other people, were they doing what Trump's doing right now? Were they ushering in this AI agenda as fast as he is? Were they doing all this kind of stuff? Well, I'm sure they were doing a lot of stuff. But don't try and take away from what Trump's doing here. This is horrible. And if you think it would have been worse with Kamala, I don't think so. And the reason I say that is because maybe you, who claims to be a truther, and I'm addressing the people here who support Trump, but who also believe they're truthers, okay? Maybe you, if Kamala was in here trying to do all this, maybe you and the rest, all the millions of people who believe in Trump, maybe you guys would have fought back. Maybe you guys would have made an impact to the point they couldn't implement the Golden Dome. They couldn't implement the AI technologies. They couldn't get away with this because there'd be too much pushback. Because y'all all knew Kamala and Biden were trash and were part of the corrupt powers that be. Maybe there would have been a chance, a hope for humanity to stop it so they couldn't start using military force on peaceful protests, because you guys would stand up for your constitutional rights. But what are you doing now? Now that, ooh, Trump is so good, right? Now he's coming in, he's implementing the AI beast system, and he's destroying your First Amendment rights, your constitutional rights, and he's implementing all this Golden Dome, all this crap, all the, you know what, they're all still coming, mRNA, sRNA, he's been approving all sorts of horrible stuff, and what are you guys doing? You're not doing shit. You're sitting there being like, oh, we could trust him. He would never do nothing to us. Well, he's doing it. So yeah, maybe if Kamala was in, maybe it would have been better, because maybe we would have had a chance to stop what's coming. It's better to have the devil you know, that you damn well know is a devil, than a snake come in and tell you a bunch of things you want to hear, so that you just sit back, thinks everything's okay, and then by the time you realize it's not, it's too late, you're fucked. You're screwed. Okay? It's better to have the devil you know, so that people could wake up and do something about it. Now, we got all these people sitting here putting their faith in government, and by the time you realize it, too late. Golden Dome's already up. You're already being attacked with all these frequency weapons. You're already connected to the AI. The AI's already in place. And then, by that time, Trump won't even have to be your worry, or the government. It's going to be the AI, because the AI is going to be the new government. It's going to be the new one in control. And there's no stopping AI once it's in doing what it's doing. Okay? It's horrible. It's not good. So humanity is not looking good right now. I'm still not trying to tell people, don't fight back, don't protest. I think it's still something that needs to be done. We need to share as much awareness as this is possible. So make sure you share the video. Many people always tell me, oh, I never have any solutions. You spread too much fear. Blah, 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 blah. Why don't you give solutions? This is the solution. Bringing light to something, exposing it so people know. So there's a damn chance that we can raise enough awareness, and if enough people rise up, they won't be able to use the military or whatever they want to do. That's the solution. If people are brainwashed and they don't even know what's happening, how are we ever going to stop it? This is the solution. What I'm doing right now, telling you guys, is the solution. That and raising your frequency, okay? Staying at a high vibrational frequency, becoming the best version of yourself, allowing love back into your heart, those are all solutions as well. Okay? Because I do believe if you're at a certain frequency, that the AI can't even harm you. Your consciousness will override everything. You'll go down a more positive timeline. So make sure you're becoming the best version of yourself, keeping your vessel pure, not connecting to the AI, Do that. That's all huge. But also get the message out so we can help the collective. And maybe, just maybe, we have a chance at stopping this. But if not, it's not looking good. But we got to try anyways. All I know is I want to get out of North America, because I don't want to be under this Golden Dome crap. Okay? Oh yeah, I'm going to go to Europe? That's my plan. Well, they want to build a dome in Europe now. They're probably going to want to put a whole dome over top of this entire planet, because it's the new frequency field, it's the new simulation, and of course it's just directly to harvest humans for the great reptilian harvest that's coming. Okay, I'm rambling now. Geez, I don't know, my friends. I'm just stressed out by all this stuff, and in a way, hearing all this stuff that's going on, having these dreams, knowing what's coming, trying to warn people, and it just goes in one ear, right out the other. But I know it isn't going out your ear, because you're still here, you're still listening to me. So for that, I thank you guys. I want to say I love you guys, and I hope, if you haven't already, you've subscribed by now. That's right. And also, if you enjoy my work, feel free to check me out on Patreon. That's right, I'm on Patreon with exclusive content you don't get anywhere else. We got the Send to 5D class, the health class, the occult class, tons of great perks there. So the link to that is down below in the description. And yeah, definitely check that out. So that's it, my friends. Leave a comment. Let me know what you thought about today's video. Until next time, old Lionel signing off.